evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl here, the Calabash Princess. And today I'm back on live in front of you. And we're going to discuss some really, really good topic today. This is a topic that's really close to my heart. And it's something I've been struggling with myself. So I'm here to pick knowledge. I believe we're all here to learn, basically. And this is Women's Corner, Men's Point of View. And as I said, today we're going to discuss something really, really close to my heart, and it's equality in a relationship. Equality in a relationship. Please share the program. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we're on. And you can call in as well. I'm going to put the number right at the bottom for you to call in anytime. And just be a friend to us. Please share the program. If you're watching the program whilst we've come off air, you can leave your comment underneath or just directly inbox me. I'm going to answer to your questions. Thank you ever so much. With that said, let me bring in the panel for today. And let me introduce them one by one. Let's start first with Uncle Pasino. I like to disturb Uncle Pasino. Hi, Uncle Pasino. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Very well. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. How is everything?
Everything's going good.
That's good. How was your weekend?
Weekend went well.
That's great. I missed last week's show, but I'm happy I'm back.
I'm happy you're here.
I've got all my voice back together.
That's good.
Thank you ever so much. Let me go and introduce the next guest, our next co-host, and this is Alicia. Hi, Alicia. How are you doing, my dear?
Hi there. How are you? I'm well.
I'm good, thank
Long
you.
day.
Oh, it's good to see you back. You're looking ever so lovely.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You ready for the topic tonight?
I am.
I am too. I'm a bit excited, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Let's hear what the guys have to say. Let me go to Uncle Carl. Hi, Uncle Carl. How are you doing?
Well, hello. I'm doing pretty good. And you?
I'm good, thank you. How has your week been?
Not bad.
That's
Not bad.
great.
My week is good. It's all right.
That's
I know it seems
great.
like I say it's always good, but it is. It's always good.
That's great. Okay, let me bring everyone together so we can all sit and we can all talk about what is really going on today. So we're talking about equality in a relationship. A lot of people actually misunderstand equality for justice sometimes and for equality. So let's see what we all mean when it comes to equality in a relationship. Let's start with Uncle Pascal. Uncle Pascal, I'll go back to you. What do you
This
mean when it
is
comes to equality
first
in a
time.
relationship? I know first time starting with you. What does it mean when it goes to equality in a relationship? Give us a little bit of insight into it, please.
Okay. My opinion.
Yes.
Equality in a relationship is when, first of all, I believe there's what we call partnership in a relationship. So for me, when I say equality, it's when both partners have understanding, they agree on, ideas, they bring ideas together, they agree. They have that sense of equality in that aspect. But when it becomes where let me not go there because I know the conversation is still going to go up. But I feel that equality in a relationship should be when two partners agree together, they come with ideas, they have understanding within each other. That is what I call equality in a relationship. I will stop there. I have more to say.
That's fantastic. Let's go to Uncle Carl. Uncle Carl, before we the women say anything, what do you actually believe in equality in a relationship?
Well, by the definition of equality, I don't think in a relationship there is such a word for a relationship. I could agree with Uncle Pascal about a partnership. But even in a partnership, uh, someone has to make a decision. So that's my take for right now. That's what I'll say. I don't think there's really technically an equality per se, verbatim, in a relationship.
Okay, That sounds okay to me. Let's wait and see what Auntie Alicia's got to say. Auntie Alicia, what is your take on it? You hear what the men have said.
Could you repeat your question one more? Let me
What do you
get back.
what do you actually think equality in a relationship is?
Well,
Or what do you
of
consider
course,
equality in a relationship?
well, everything. There's a lot of things, right? So I guess that's why I asked the question. Let's repeat it so I understand it. So on so many levels, you can show equality in your relationship, from who's in charge, the burdens, the bills, sex, everything, right? So I guess for me, what aspect are we talking about? Are we talking about um relating, the taking care of the home, um the kids, the bills, your family, like your extended family? I mean, so many ways you can show equality, but I think what's the common thread for all of it is that you're doing it together, right? So we're doing it together. No one does one thing more than the other. We know if we feel as if we're doing more and the other partner is doing less, we know that creates what? Resentment, right? We start resenting. What happens when we resent? There's drama, there's conflict. So I think the common thread, whether it's, with the family, with the bills, with, work, we're sharing the responsibility in it.
Okay.
Everybody is playing their part.
That sounds good, Alicia. So before I actually go further, I'll put this picture here for us to look at this picture very well. I'm not gonna say a word with this picture, but I'm gonna put it there so that we can look at it. And then I'll play the next one. Let's have a look at it too. I got the pictures from the internet, right? Because when we talk about equality in a relationship, we think differently. But I want us to look at these three pictures and see how we can relate to those photos when we're actually discussing today. So let's go back to all of us and let's see. So I've put those pictures there. I believe a lot of us have actually seen those pictures in one way or another at some point in our working life. I believe personally, when it comes to equality in a relationship, a lot of us, a lot of people, I would say, well, I used to think the same way, that equality comes with educational background or basically the same family background, because we always say, oh, these two people need to have the same educational background or the same family background or even financial opportunity the same. They have to have the same level of work. They have to have the same level of IQ before people can be together. But the one thing I've discovered in life is about how you make someone feel when they're in a relationship with you. So equality comes a lot about how we make ourselves feel and especially how we make someone else feel when we're in a relationship. Because it's completely different when we're in a marital relationship, a committed relationship, or when we're just in a casual relationship. Because when we're in a casual relationship with equality, we don't really owe no obligation to anyone. So no matter how you feel at that moment or what you say at that moment, it's just casually based. I'm going to come and I'm going to go. But when I live with you in the same house and in a marital relationship, it's quite different with equality. So a lot of people as well think equality is about 50-50. That is one of the reasons why I decided to put this picture up. Because if we look at this photo very well, the first one, we actually see three boxes. But it's equal in a way, but are they really equal? Because if you look at the next box, you can see that the dad of the picture, the one with the yellow, have actually take his box and put it up for the younger guy with the green to actually stand on top of it, or with the blue to stand on top of it, the turquoise blue, so that he can see proper with the game. But if you go back to the next picture, you can see that there's justice in a way. When there is no barrier in between them, they all can see equally. So to me, personally, equality is different. Is it really justice? Is it the same thing? And can equality ever be unfair? So that is one of the place I'm gonna take it right now. Can equality ever be fair? Who is gonna take it first?
You said, can equality ever be fair?
Yes. Because if you look at the picture, I'll put the picture back. Look at the picture, and then
I
you
guess I
answer
don't.
that. You check really well. Can equality ever be fair?
If I may come in,
Go on, Uncle Pascal.
yes. So I think the modern world, or will I say modern women, have come to believe that equality has to do with 50-50. And when I hear that, I ask these questions. I feel in a relationship, like the last episode we had, the last segment we had, I had talked about the role of a husband, a wife, and the kids. Like I said, the husband is like, marriage is like an institution where you have the president, the vice president, and the board of directors. You know, just like when you have in a kingdom, you have the king, the queen, and the subjects. However, like I said, this modern world, the modern women, modern men, I don't want to use women alone, they've come to the conclusion that equality has to do with 50-50, which is a wrong narrative. For me, I have never believed in that. I believe, yes, I will have to respect my woman as a man. However, the man in a relationship, you have the leader, the ones that lead, you know, you have the ones that lead, which I will use the word superior in a relationship. Why? Because one, when you're making a decision, the man has the right to seek opinion from his wife. Sweetheart, honey, this is what I brought up. What do you think about it? Then she will bring her own idea or opinion about it before the man will make the final decision, and even ask the kids as well before they make final decision. So one thing we should let people understand is equality has nothing to do with 50-50, but when people bring 50 equality in a different narrative, then I ask this question: if you're in a relationship, you're sleeping with your man or your family in the house, and armed robbers come to the door and they knock, boo, 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 open the door, these are armed robbers. Who will they ask to go open the door first? Most of the time is the man. So that shows us that even if there's equality for understanding in a relationship, but there's still one that is leading. So we should understand that in a relationship we have the man as the leader. That's my take for now.
Thank you very much, Uncle Pasino. That was really good. You actually came up with the one that people say, I didn't want to talk about it, but you did. I just didn't want to bring it up now. 50-50 in a relationship. I'm going to come back into that, but I'm going to leave it first to settle down. Uncle Carl, let's go. Do you think that there can ever be unfairness in equality in a relationship?
Well, like I said, I really don't believe that there's a such thing as equality in a relationship. And based on what Uncle Pascal is describing, that's exactly why I feel that there could not be an equality in that sense. You definitely want to sit down and have your wife communicate with you when it comes to decisions in the household. It's not something that you overlook. She is not something to be passed over. Your wife is supposed to be included in your ideas, and your wife ideas is supposed to be brought to you, and it's supposed to be considered in high regard. However, it is still on the man to make that decision. And if it's on the man to make that decision, it's supposed to be whatever decision he makes is supposed to be the final decision. So there come times when a woman would feel, whether it comes to the discipline of a child or children in a relationship, or when it comes to bills being paid, when it comes to items being purchased for or for not the family, whether she wants to do vacationing and the man says no, or man wants to do vacationing and the woman says no, the final decisions always come to the head, to the lead,
That's
to
true.
the leader of the relationship.
That's true.
We've had conversations where on this show where we say, we don't want to say the man is controlling or controls the circumstance, but the woman on the women on the show, and even women that put in a comment, would say they're looking for a leader. They want a strong leader in this relationship. You can't take leader and add any quality to it in a relationship. It doesn't work. If you get as Uncle Pascal said, if you take and you get a um, say a company, and you have two business partners and they're 50-50 in this company, and one partner feels like they need to sell the company and restart on another company because they feel like this company just is not making the profit margin that it made last year, and that person feels like the following year the profits may plunder. The other partner is going, no, I think we're doing pretty good. I think if we actually add this to it, it'll boost our profits for next year. Well, we have a 50-50. Where is it going to end? What decision would that, sell or not sell? There'll be a consistent fight and a consistent battle. And because you're 50-50, now you're going to have to take someone else outside of this partnership or outside of this business partnership, like a judge, because they're going to go to court about it because they're 50-50, and the judge would have to be the one to make the decision for them. But that never happens really in a company because one has 51% versus 49%. Someone always has a higher margin when it comes to that company, and it's usually the person that started it. So in a relationship, it's pretty similar to that. I mean, we do have a partnership where a man and woman comes together and talk, but it's never equal because the man is the one that has to make the final decision.
I like that,
Yeah, I
Uncle
think
Carl.
probably.
I like what you just said right there. Because you're going as well with 50-50 in a relationship, heading it the same way with Uncle Pascal as well. But you actually guarantee that it's never going to be fair in a relationship. But a lot of women nowadays are fighting for equality in a relationship, especially in the Western world. So, Alicia, I don't know what is your take on it. I believe possibly you've got it. Can equality ever be fair or unfair in a relationship?
Yeah, so now I see what you're saying. We're saying
Yeah,
fair, FAIR. Okay.
yeah.
So I first want to go back and let's define the term. First, if we look at equal, right? And I'm going back to the picture that you showed that I think was perfect. But sort of going back to defining the term and then moving forward for me. So if we think about a relationship or two people being equal, we're saying being the same in size, the same in quantity, the same in value, the same in degree, right? So it's going back to what we were just saying, that we could possibly never be the same in terms of size, in quantity, and in degree, in a sense, in a relationship. I get that, but if we go one more step, we define that term having the ability, or resources to meet, right? And that's where I think we talk about this from a relationship perspective. For me, when I think about equality in a relationship, I'm thinking about respect, respecting one another's opinions, um, positions, and living in harmony, right? That means we're meeting. That means at some point in our relationship or in our interactions, we've learned how to meet each other on at a common ground. We communicate openly. We freely give support because we're able to meet each other at a point in terms of our understanding of the need or our vision that we've sort of thought out for our family or just for our partnership, right? There's compromising, right? So we go back to what I was saying earlier: respect, compromising, having respect for people's positions, respecting their boundaries. All that to me is equality, right? So we could break that term up and just say, oh, well, no, we're not the same in terms of, size, or, there being, a man and a woman, strength versus, strengths. There's all kind of differences when you think about it being equal. But equal, and this, the second part of that definition, means being able to meet or provide a resource, or at least be to a point in your relationship where you respect each other's opinions, um, and you can live in harmony, living together, being able to meet on one accord, right? We talk about relating, and we could go on and talk about biblical things, in notations where it talks about being equally yoked, right? Being equal, being able to meet on one accord, having an understanding, respecting one another. All that to me is equal, and it can be fair. It should be fair.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alicia. I love the way in which you actually just put it right there. Because to me, respect is the ultimate goal in every relationship we get in life, basically. And I love that. Uncle Pascal, what do you think of what Auntie Alicia said? Respect. I know that is your very key and very keen in that you actually like echo it all the time in our broadcast. Respect and communication in every broadcast we've ever had, basically. So, what do you think about what Alicia said when it comes to respect in a relationship? Because I believe personally that respect is key in everything we do in this life, especially when it comes to equality. Because if you don't respect me, how do you expect me to treat you equally in the relationship, basically? How do you expect me to give you a box to stand on when that time comes for you to really lean on me? So I believe in respect. So Uncle Pascal, I know you're big on this. So can you explain it in a brighter future way for us, please?
Yeah, like you rightly said, I'm big in communication, respect. But at the same time, like I said earlier on, a lot of women think today when they say equality, they believe both of you are the same. Yes, we are the same as one. As the Bible made it to be, we are one in Christ. But when it comes to relationship, we still have what we call, I don't, if I use the word superior, because words these days, when I use some words, people will be like, no, 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 that, but superior, if you go and check the definition of superior, is almost aligned with leadership. In the
Use
relationship, you
chain of
have a
command.
leader. Yeah. Yeah. In the relationship, you have a leader. That is one thing I want us to understand, because what we are doing here, we are trying to teach the audience to give them view about the subject. Women should learn to know that in a relationship, you have your head, you have your leader. Yes, we are equal. I have to respect you as a woman. How do I respect you? Like I said earlier, if I want to make a decision, I will have to go and get advice from my woman. This is what I've come up with. What do you think about it? This is me showing you respect. But at the end of the day, I will still be the final one that will go and make the decision out and say, yes, this is how we're going to do it. It's like a kingdom. You have your king, you have your queen. When the king wants to address his subject, the queen will sit down while the king will stand up and address his subject. The queen is not going to stand up with the king. That shows you that there is a little difference, just like the way Uncle Carl said it. When you have a company, you have two shareholders. One tends to be higher than the other one because it can never be equal. Two captains cannot ride the ship at the same time. One captain will ride while the other one will be sleeping. At night, the other one will get up. Because if the two of them start riding it at the same time, the ship might crash. Because there will be argument, controversy, and all that. Yes, a man should respect his woman. The woman should respect the man. It is necessary. It's important. That's where communication comes in. But we should still learn to know that a leader, there's one that has to lead in that relationship. There's one that is the head. It's also, that's what Christ also said. We should respect our man. He said, women, respect your husband. Men, love your wife. I think that's how it said it. But my point is this: in a relationship, it's not just 50-50 in all aspects. Women should learn to know that the man is the one that is leading, and the man should be able to know how to lead himself, put himself on check for the woman to accept his leadership. Because you, as a man, if you don't put yourself in the right tune for you to lead, she's not going to even respect your leadership. But at the end of the day, 50-50 is all about respect, but yet we have leadership in that relationship.
I'm happy what you just said there, Uncle Pascal. That's why usually just like, okay, Uncle Pascal, when it comes to those things, when it comes to respect in a relationship, is very key into it. Uncle Cal, you've listened to both Uncle Pascal and Auntie Alicia, what they actually just said, right? When it comes
Yes, I
to
did.
respect in a relationship, do you think it's actually lacking in lots of relationship right now, whereby women are crying for equality? Or do you think the
Absolutely.
generation is actually picking up because of social media? So we're picking up more and more in the way we actually deal with our relationship in terms of respect.
If we go social media, it just depends on what culture. And I'm not even talking about culture as far as African versus European versus whites versus black. I'm talking about just right here in America, whether you white, black, the American culture. When it comes to certain aspects of it, you have social media. I don't even go there with social media because women are calling the women bees and men are calling each other ends, and that's supposed to be equality to them. So I won't even go there with the social media thing. But absolutely, I think that respect is something that has not been done in relationships, particularly marriages. A woman should never feel inadequate underneath her man's leadership. Okay. When I say that the man makes the final decision, I'm not saying that that is something always to be done. No matter what, the man makes the final decision. What I say goes. That falls back into being a man of control and then being a man that's controlling. You don't want to be controlling because you would always make your wife feel like, what is the point of her even voicing herself? There are times, let me give an example. There are times that in my relationship, she brings up something that she wants to do. I don't agree with it. If I don't agree with it, I have to make what Alicia says a compromise. And my definition of that is I know that it won't work. I have to figure out, is this something that's going to affect us in the long run financially in a terrible way? Is it something that's going to affect us emotionally later down the line? If it's not affecting either one of these two things, I'll say to her, okay, all right, I don't agree with it, but if that's what you want to do, I believe that you can go ahead and do it. When it happens, I never throw back up in her face, I told you. And it falls apart. I don't go, I told you. I don't do that. What I do is say, maybe if we try it this way, and it'll be the way that I said it to begin in the first time. And let's see what happens. And then when it falls together, okay. Even if what I say falls apart, then we'll both say, hey, we were both wrong about this. Maybe we need to get some advice or ask someone, maybe mom or your mom or dad or somebody, and figure out how that goes. However, my point still to this is that equality. I heard Alicia mention that the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked. The Bible, in that aspect, isn't talking about something that has to do with the relationship or the marriage of a relationship. It's talking about don't be unequally yoked, and you believing in one God and she's believing in another. That's what that scripture is talking about. It's not talking about an equality as if we're coming to meet and the woman is just as equal in decision making as the man. That's not what that is about. But her point and what she's driving to is that a woman, like I say, should never feel inadequate. The man should always hear out fully with whole heart what his wife's concerns are, what she feels, how she perceives things. That's the way he's supposed to do. And a good man would sit there and weigh it, even if he feels like in the beginning of this conversation, he doesn't agree with it. He ponders that, he chews on it. And then he'll come back to his wife and says, you know what, I think maybe you have a good point. Let's try it that way. That's a good leader. However, if I feel like I chewed on it, I pondered it, and I still feel like that is not a good decision, my final say stands as the man. Here's the thing for me. Every day we are as men and women, I'm talking about. Women can go to work today as an equality. They can make just as much money today as an equality. They can play basketball, shoot. They even have football for women now as an equality. There's there's plenty of things that are happening that's making it equal in the society for women. But the one thing I see about women, regardless to how equal they always respecting as they're growing up, if their father's in the household, which I pray they are, they listen to their dad. Whatever dad says, in those teen years before you grown and get married and take off, you listen to your dad. What he says goes. When you go and get a job, you're going to go by company policy. Those company policies were made by the person who ran that, whether it's a female or a male. Keep in mind, doesn't have to be a man, it could be a female.
Absolutely.
You're not going to go up against the policy. You're going to listen because you know what the rule says. You know how life goes in that aspect. If we're talking Bible, we know how the Bible says for man, as Pascal say, there's a chain of command. God, husband, wife, children. Or the way he said in business, CEO, you know, I can't forget I don't know exactly the way he said, but there's always that chain. Why is it so hard to understand that that same chain of command, especially under God, is supposed to be respected just as much at home?
Okay.
And I see.
Well, I'm just smiling, Uncle Carl, the way you actually putting it, really, because I know, Alicia, I'm just smiling the way you're putting it. But one thing I actually want to emphasize when it comes to equality in a relationship, we have to remember we have to gain trust with the person. Because if we don't have trust in our relationship, there's no way we're going to think about equality in a relationship. Fairness have to be into it. The reason why I'm coming in that aspect, I see Uncle Carl wiping his face.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Now we're talking about people. We're not just talking about people who. I'm not going to just jump up and go, "Oh, I met you yesterday. Be my wife. Let's go. Let's get married tomorrow."
I understand.
No, this is the equality, as you call it, in a relationship. It falls all apart when you meet the person you meet. When you go to a job interview, you don't just jump at the job because it makes you good money. You want to make sure that this job is something that is going to be beneficial as a career choice for you. You're going to make sure you're happy with what you're getting into. Same thing with meeting a husband, and same thing with meeting a wife.
When you get into it, you have to be able to actually have fairness in the relationship, because there are lots of relationships out there at this moment. There's absolutely no fairness in them. It's just one-sided in a relationship.
Fairness?
Yes. People have to be fair in a relationship. It's one-sided. When I say fairness, I mean Fairness.
Oh, fairness. I thought you said fear. Okay, my bad. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Fairness
in a relationship is very important.
the fairness of that relationship is that I am not going to, if you and I are married, you come to me with an idea, you come to me with an opinion, you come to me with a concern. I'm not just going to go, I don't want to hear it. I feel that this is going to be this way and that's it. Shut up, move over there, go, I don't want to hear it. That's unfair. A fair leader, a fair husband is going to hear every word that proceeded out of the mouth of his spouse, period. He's going to listen with intent to understand it, not just hear it. Try to understand it. If at the point that he's done all he can with his heart to hear and understand what her concerns are, if he still feels that that is not a good thing, he is supposed to make his decision and is supposed to be respected.
I
I
understand you.
agree.
I understand where you're coming from. I see Uncle Pascal like, okay, I agree with Uncle Car. Auntie Alicia, these guys have actually said their own piece right now, and we have not really said much because they've been talking and they've been saying what they think equality
I
is
think,
in a relationship. So
yeah, and for me, I think we're kind of losing ground because we can't compare a relationship to a job,
yes,
right?
thank you. I was
So
about to say
using a
that.
job as an analogy,
Thank you, Auntie Alicia.
or
I was about to say
using a
that.
job as a comparison, or a reference, uh in relationship to a partnership, your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, that is totally different. We know that there's all kind of oversight that manage you at a job, and manage the way that you communicate, manage the way that you compromise. We know there's politics, there's bureaucracies, and most of all, there is money. There's a check involved, which sort of determines your livelihood, right? How you eat, how your kids, how your family survive. So I wouldn't use that, in comparison to a loving relationship. I think that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about a loving relationship. We're talking about, and I think there's a lot more that goes along with equality. I think there's another important word that we have to kind of put alongside equality is reciprocity, right? So what that says is whatever I'm giving in terms of my love, my sharing, my caring, my respect should be reciprocated. There needs to be mutuality, right? All this to me is a part of equality, right? So these those three words, equality, reciprocity, and mutuality, are huge, and they work together. So this goes outside of the 50-50 thing. I think that is important too, in terms of, how we feel about our part in the relationship. So when we say equality, it's a lot, it's a little bit more than a job, it's a little bit more than a king and a queen. I think it has a lot more to do with living in harmony. And how do we do that? We live in harmony by respecting one another's opinions, by communicating openly, by respecting our boundaries, by compromising, by freely giving support. I think that's important. Mutuality, right? Reciprocity, all those things are important. So it's not just about the bills and the kids and me saying one thing and you saying another, and who's gonna take the torch and run with it. No, before we make a decision, and if we're talking about executive decisions, right, about our home, about our vision, and I keep going back to that because for me, I think it's important for any woman when she starts to date and looking for a mate or a husband or partner, that she looks for a man who has a vision first. If he does not have a vision, you should not allow him to lead you at all. That's the first thing I look for in anything is does this man have a vision for his life first, not even mine. So let me see what your visions are, and then from there I'll compare that to what mine may be and what my values are to even go into a relationship and talking about being equal. Because if we're not on the same page and we don't have the same visions, and there's no, your values don't align with mine, we will have problems from the door. There's not going to be any respect. It's going to be one-sided. You're going to be controlling. There's going to be resentment. There's going to be disrespect. There's going to be drama. For me, that's how I think. So it goes, and sometimes, the man can still be in control and the woman can be the messenger. And that's how my mom and my dad is. My dad is definitely the lead. James Brown, my dad's name is James Brown, is the lead. But my mother is the messenger. Because my dad, he doesn't communicate well. Right? But he can communicate to my mother well enough to say what he wants, and she's going to support him. Because there's been some compromising. They've talked behind the curtain. This is our decision. I'll be the one to speak for our family. But my daddy is the if it go wrong, my dad is gonna step up, and at that point, my mother will step back or she'll stand. But I think it has a lot to do with both being assertive people and sharing their opinions and being free. You don't want things to go one-sided. That's when it goes to me, it goes to toxic. Now we're about to be dysfunctional. It's not working. We're not in the middle. There's some control issues, and it may get abusive. It may get toxic. And now we're talking about separating, divorce, or breaking up because we couldn't come to the middle. We couldn't share.
Yes, Uncle Carl, you're about to say something.
Here's the amazing thing for me. Okay. Like she said, some things can become toxic and there's going to be drama, blah, 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 so forth. Okay. And the reason drama comes is because if a person in the relationship is not fully hearing, whether it's the male or the female, what another person is saying, drama or toxic will come out because emotions are getting high instead of listening to what is being said. Now, everything that Alicia has just said, everything that the Calabash Princess has just said, I said all of that by saying that a woman should not feel inadequate. I said all of that a woman should be heard. And because I used the term of a business, that all went outside the door as if what you just said isn't something that I just said. And this is what that
it's about the way we communicate it, Uncle Carl. It's about the way we bring it out.
Mr. Carr, you said that. You said that, and I also remember I said a man should be able to lead. You should know yourself. I think we're all saying the same thing.
We are, but at the end of the day, Uncle Carl actually
using different grammar. Everybody's using different English to come in, but we are saying the same thing. Because
no, we're not.
We're not. I don't believe we are. I don't believe so, Alicia.
We are not, honey.
Alicia,
we're not on the same page.
Alicia, no. What Alicia wants is not. She's not saying the same thing.
We're not on the same page.
I'm just not going at it.
We're not.
Alicia is actually saying that what you feel and what I feel should be on equal terms. There should be a mutual standing here. And then what I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I am the lead. And this is funny to me because a lot of people who are in the Word of God don't live it that way. And that's what God's Word says.
Well, I understand that you're the lead, and I don't want us to take this out of context because, because it's being taken out of context. And I think being a lead doesn't give you, being the lead is not a ticket to have the last word.
Thank you, Alicia. You just said the word I was going to say at the end.
I just said that. I said a man. I just said that, though. Everything you're speaking. No, that's not how I'm coming. Because if you heard me,
So who makes the decision
I
in
said that a
relationship?
woman,
Who make the decision?
the
Uncle Carl, let
man,
me just answer Pascal 1 second, please. Who makes
Yeah,
the
ask
decision in a relationship? That is a big one, Alicia. I just believe two people have to make a decision for everything to go on equally. Because if
you
one
can't do
person
that.
makes a
It's
decision
not
over the next
possible.
person, it's never
You
it's,
can't
it's
do
never
that.
equal in a relationship.
now you guys are
You
really
cannot
talking.
do that.
You guys are
See,
really,
see,
that is,
see, man, that's the
You
problem we
can't
have
do that.
now in today's
So the man have
society.
to have the final decision, the final
There,
say in
no,
everything that goes
the
around in the
man is
house.
supposed to listen to what a woman says and wholeheartedly takes it in. I just
Absolutely.
said
Yes.
that there's times that even in my relationship, she could be wrong about something. And I have to compromise the situation to
I
see,
agree with that.
is this something that's going to affect us in such a way that would hurt us in the long run? If it's not something that's going to hurt us, I have to give leeway to her.
Yeah, but
She is
Uncle
a
Carl,
human.
the
She does have
question
to. Can
is,
I finish what I'm saying? I'm just
sure,
saying.
go on, Uncle Carl.
She has to feel adequate.
I know,
So she
Alicia.
will
There we go.
in decisions. It could be something about a house, as Alicia was bringing up, a house that we're going to move into. I might not want to move. I'm not ready for it, or whatever it may be. She may be wanting to move. I'm not ready. Well, just because I'm not ready, if this is something she feels like she's doing, she's making just as good money as I'm making and all this, is it something that's going to break things down? As a leader, I have to look at that. Regardless to whether what I feel about not wanting it, I have to look at that. And then I can make the decision and say, okay, babe, we can do it. But
Okay, Mr.
But
Carl.
if
Uncle
I
Carl
feel
said,
like
Uncle
Mr.
Carl, you're
Carl,
missing the point here.
what
Uncle
about what you
Pascal
just
said,
said
who
now,
has to
and
make
the
the
table turns
final
around?
decision? He said, a
we
man,
are,
he said, who has to make the final decision? That's what Uncle
He
Pascal
just
just
it's the
said.
answered it.
man. That's what I'm
He just
saying.
answered it. He just answered it. But the question I want to ask Uncle Carl is, what now you're saying? If the man doesn't want to go to the house, what about if the table turns around and the woman don't want to go to the house, and you want to go to you want that house? How will you handle such situation?
Alicia,
If
let's
the
wait, talk
woman is
on.
the one, if the woman is the one that does not want to go into this house, once again, is this something that's going to affect a long term, or be a big impact on the relationship? I have to think about that. If my wife don't want to go there, a house isn't a home unless the woman makes it one. She's the one who
Exactly.
makes a home. And if she don't feel comfortable there, I can move into a mansion with 14 rooms, a basketball court, and a kitchen big enough for her to put God knows what in it, and a bathroom with, I mean, it could be just gorgeous. But if she don't want to be there, my house will not be a home because my wife is not happy. So what's the point?
Yeah, I like
So
what
how do we handle it as men? We forget
Alicia,
about
let's
it.
just wait for
We
them.
make the decision. We make the decision. We make that decision at that point, baby. You're right. We don't need to move there. It's still the man making the decision.
Exactly. Beats whichever way. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear.
So, Auntie
Okay, ladies.
Alicia, do you actually believe? Do you believe that
I'm
it
about to
has
ask
to be
you. I'm
solely?
about to ask you.
Do you believe that it has to be solely the man decision in every single decision that is made in a household? Let's take it in a
No, of
No,
marital
we
course
said
context
not.
now.
final
Forget about
decision,
dating.
not
And
decision.
Uncle Pascal,
Final.
1 second, please. Uncle
Yeah,
Pascal
you
said,
said
who has to
decision.
make the final
Final.
decision, right?
Yeah.
So, Auntie
Right
Alicia,
word.
do you believe that a man have to make the final decision in every ramification of your
No,
life, in everything you do, in your
no,
lifestyle,
no,
as long as you're married?
no,
No.
no, of course not.
I have the rights to
No.
my own body. I have the rights to make
Y'all
my
got,
Uncle Carl.
yes.
1 second, we've allowed you guys talk. Auntie Alicia, let's talk this now, right? They've actually talked their own. Let's have a conversation with
What
this one.
time is it, Uncle Pascal?
A man supposed to make a decision in
I know.
every single thing that they do. Every single
It's
decision
over
we
9.
make, the man have to have a final say. So if even we wake
They
up in
do.
the morning, before we brush our teeth, we
9:06.
have to ask the man what toothpaste we're going to use today to brush our teeth. When going
Now, see,
out, you
now you're
have to
putting
ask the
tens
man
on
to
it.
make
See,
a
this is
decision.
that
Uncle Pascal,
emotional
1 second,
part
Uncle Carl,
that
please.
causes drama. No, this is that emotional
This is
part that
drama
causes
already.
This
drama.
is not drama.
That's the problem.
This
This
is
is
right.
that
Auntie
toxicity. This
Alicia's
is that
phone has died
toxicity.
right
Yes.
now. But this is not
No,
drama.
but this is
She'll
that
come
toxic.
back.
No, this
No,
is that
that is
toxic. It is drama.
No,
You're
it's
going down
not,
to
Uncle
toothpaste
Carl. You
that
decisions.
is
say,
why
Uncle
You
Pascal
that is
cannot
said,
why
use
if you look
toothpaste
at
and you
today's
cannot do that.
society,
Come on now.
marriage is no longer coming forth because of
Uncle
this is
Pascal,
toxic
I'm
right
trying
now.
to answer your question. You
No,
asked
you're
a
not trying to
question.
answer the
You said a
question.
man. Well, it was not even
You
a
are
question,
bringing
it's a
toothpaste. We're
statement.
not talking about toothpaste. When we are talking about final decision, we are talking about something that is very serious. Not toothpaste, not the soap you want to make. That is why a woman will ask just let's say a man and a woman is walking on the street. Have you noticed when a man and a woman is walking on the street, the woman will always want the man to be by the side of the car, and
Alicia,
the woman
they've
will come to the
spoken. They
other
cannot
side.
allow us to actually have a discussion.
Ladies and
They
gentlemen,
cannot allow us to have a
They have
discussion,
taken
Alicia.
over.
Yeah, we
They
have
have
to have a
taken
ladies and
over.
discussion.
gentlemen,
We allow them to
ladies
talk.
and gentlemen,
We allow you
this
guys to
topic
talk.
ladies and gentlemen, this topic is hot. We would definitely, Alicia, will you be here
Continue
next
it
week?
again, but we need to actually answer that question. We need to finalize it before we go, because I still
Calabash
stand on what
Princess.
Uncle Pascal said.
Calabash
Because of the
Uncle
Princess.
time.
Pascal question is,
Calabash Princess.
they're not allowing us today to talk. It's okay, ladies and
it's not about
gentlemen. We're
that.
going to end it this way, and we're going to allow them to take it on their own. But the question is still not answered, and I still want to bring my point across.
Write it down.
Uncle Carl, I'm
and do it
coming,
for
please.
the next show.
Uncle Carl, 1 second, please. I still want to bring my point across and actually give
See
what
the
I want to
emotional
say.
thing right here? This is why men have to make decisions.
I
Right
still
now,
want to
we're
bring
going
my
into a
point across and
situation
say
where
what
it's
I want to say.
9:07.
Uncle Carl, it's about time we're leaving now soon. We've got 2
I'm
more minutes
surprised she's
before we
bringing
leave.
toothpaste.
We've got
She's
2 more
bringing
minutes before we
toothpaste to
leave.
the topic.
But if a man's going to make the final decision for every single thing I do, according to what Uncle Pascal said, I don't believe in it.
You are quoting me wrong.
Uncle Pascal.
This is life. You are quoting me wrong.
No,
now.
Uncle Pascal, we can go back and I can bring your words back.
You don't know. I never said I said a man should make, I said who makes the final decision. That doesn't mean when it comes to toothpaste.
So I don't believe a man can actually make the final decision
That's
in
not what we're
everything
talking
in
about.
equality in a relationship. A man doesn't make a final decision in everything. I believe there have to be a compromise. A woman and a man comes together and they have to compromise in every single thing. I'm just bringing it to you. So the layers term, which I actually use toothpaste as an example. So in my own way, right? In my own way, I don't believe that a man should make every single decision about my life. It's not possible. A man cannot make every decision about my life.
Your life, man. We're talking about relationship.
In relationship, Uncle Pascal, that's what I'm saying.
Life. You have your life.
I'm saying in relationship, when I go into a relationship, I go into a relationship basically with life. So my life is your life in a relationship. Because in every decision I'm making can affect the two of us. And in every decision you're making affect the two of us. So I cannot really accept, personally, I cannot really accept for a man to make a final decision. Uncle Pascal, please, let me finish. Please, I'm begging you. I cannot really accept, personally, as Frances, the Calabash Princess, I cannot be in a relationship. I call it being bullying. So to me, I cannot be in a relationship whereby a man makes the final decision in every single thing that's going to affect our relationship. No, to me, it's not really justified. I can listen. I can compromise with you. Like Uncle Carl was saying, so what he was saying to me is compromise. It's not really making a final decision. So I don't believe, personally, I don't believe a man should be making every decision for me in a relationship. We can compromise. I listen to the man. I still believe the man is the head of the family. I believe the man is the head of the relationship. I 100% accept that. I don't believe in 50-50 in a relationship because the man is the head. That's why we always have the hierarchy in everything we do in life. But when it comes to decision making in a relationship, it has to be both ways. It has to be 2 people making a decision, not one person overruling the decision. That means I live in a relationship whereby it's dictatorship. It's not really, it's a dictatorship relationship, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe we should be in a relationship whereby people dictate to us things to do, because that's the way I see it. I believe in compromise in a relationship. Sorry to say, but that's the way I get it. Auntie Alicia, your final word, please, before we go.
So my final word for today's topic is, it's all about respect. For me, equality is about respecting and living in harmony, and that means so many things. That means communicating openly, freely giving support, compromising, and respecting the boundaries of your partner. And all that is, and that's shared. That's a shared responsibility. And without that, I think your relationship is headed for doom. I think resentment sets in, and so many negative things sets in. You know, when you don't have when equality is not there. But I do want to add two more words, and that is mutuality and reciprocity is a part of equality for me in a relationship.
Thank you ever so much, darling. Uncle Cal is frozen right now. His phone has gone off. Uncle Pascal, please give your final word. Redeem yourself a little bit.
I have nothing to redeem. I'm still going to say what I said before. There's nothing to redeem there. What I would just say is we should always know the choice we make when going to a relationship, because women should learn how to listen to men, and men should learn how to listen to women.
Absolutely.
Because we have different point of view. So for a relationship to last, the woman should know, oh, am I really ready to be serious in a relationship? What are men thinking? What are their thoughts? So we as men, we should also think the same thing. So when you're getting into a relationship, you have to make sure you make the right decision. Like I said earlier on, for you to be a leader, you as a man, you have to take care of your own self. Make sure you have the positive mind, the positive mentality for you to be able to lead. And at the end of the day, when you are in a relationship, two people can't just come out at once and make decision. Yes, each partner have to respect each other's decision, but one person has to go out and make the decision. Let's assume you have a court hearing, a court case. The man should be bold enough as the leader to go there and say, this is what I'm saying on behalf of my family. That means he's making the decision on behalf of his family. That's my final say here.
I like what you just said there, Uncle Pascal, but
Yeah.
not every decision the way you put it. Like a man
I never said every decision, ma'am. Never. You are quoting me wrong. I said final decision.
Final decision.
There's
Final decision. Okay.
Yes.
I get it. Final decision. So a man's supposed to make a final decision. I'll keep that for next week. Next week topic basically for final decision. So I like what you just said there. Final decision. So a man's supposed to be the one making the final decision. Okay. I like that. I'll keep it for next week topic. Uncle Carl is gone at the moment. Until then, we see you next week. Oh, Uncle Carl is here again. We just lost him in a little bit. But until then, I know Uncle Carl timing. Until then, we see you next week and have a great, great, great day.
See you
We
later.
love you all. And guess what? A man's supposed to make a man not supposed to make all the decision in the house. A woman supposed to make some decision as well in the house. Not everything. Relationship have to be a compromise. I love you all and stay blessed.